Cricket presents The Campfire, and today we are talking District 7-5A Division 1. The schools in this district include Forney, Lancaster, Longview, Lufkin, McKinney North, North Mesquite, Tyler, and West Mesquite. Let's analyze these teams in our film session. The strength in this district will come from the ground game. There is some serious talent returning in the backfield, as the running backs in this district should gobble up the yardage. Let's start with one of the favorites to not only win the district, but challenge for a state title. That would be Longview. The Lobos returned district MVP running back Taylor Tatum to go along with defensive studs Billy Smith, Chase Smith, and Willie Nelson. Closer to home, Lancaster will be Longview's biggest competition and could very well snag that title, as the Tigers get to play Longview at home this year. Offensively, Webo may be the best in 7-5A, with running back Keywan Lacey and wide receivers Brandon Henderson and Tyrick Martin coming back as skill position stars. McKinney North also has some special talent returning on offense, with running back Jaden Walker and receiver Corbin Hendricks. Look for Forney to make a push for a playoff spot. The Jackrabbits' Javian Osborne is a special halfback and will be entering his sophomore season, so Forney will have him for quite some time. Mesquite ISD teams may struggle in 2023, but North Mesquite will have the coach's son, Luke Cedar, back as quarterback. Meanwhile, West Mesquite's Casey McCoy is a second-team all-district player returning at wide receiver. Lufkin's Kedron Young is a running back with a stack of college offers, while Tyler's Derek McFall is like a Swiss Army knife for the Lions.
Switch to Cricket and get a free Moto G 5G with your new plan. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. For an even deeper look at 7-5A Division 1, here's producer Ward Fasold and insider Matt Diggs with the district breakdown.
All right, district breakdown time. We are in our last 5A district in the DFW, and we are talking 7-5A Division 1. I got Matt Diggs with me, our high school insider. And we got athletes galore in this district, and, you know, probably state semifinalist here, if not a state champion. Talk about who you think, now that I've already thrown that out there, who you think may go advance far, not only in this district, but in the postseason as well.
Ward is bold. He is just going ahead and throwing it out there.
Let's
and
go.
Probably, you know, as much as we see football games, Ward, every now and then you get something new and you have those memories. And last year, I don't think it gets any more dramatic than that Longview Aledo game that you had fourth down, Longview driving to win the game, and then you get a rain delay right before the play with just seconds left in the game, and that play went incomplete on the restart. Aledo was able to win that game, but Longview, they have some questions to ask. Who's going to be the new quarterback? How are they going to replace a generational talent like Jalen Hale? But Longview is so loaded in so many positions. They have to be a favorite to win this region again. Maybe a number 2 team in the state to get things started out with Aledo 1 and Longview 2.
Let's talk about a team that, first of all, you talked about Taylor Tatum. This district has solid running backs all over the place, and one of them is in the team that I think will probably finish second, and maybe you'll agree with, at Lancaster, with Keywan Lacey. Talk about that team, that running back, and where you think they'll fall.
Well, if you remember last year, a lot of people thought Longview was kind of a de facto state champion, that they were just going to beat Aledo and have an easy run to the state championship. And one team gave Longview a really good game all year before that Aledo game. It was Lancaster. And a lot of people thought that if Lancaster didn't have to go to Longview and play that game there, if that game was a neutral site or anywhere else, that Lancaster would have won that game. Well, this year they got to come out to Lancaster and play that game. So I know Lancaster's got that date circled.
Why don't you give me 1 through 8?
Got Longview number 1, Lancaster number 2, Forney 3, McKinney North 4, Tyler High 5, Lufkin 6, North Mesquite 7, West Mesquite 8. And it's a very tough luck middle of this district, because McKinney North, Tyler High, and Lufkin, all talented teams, all teams you might see in our top 15 rankings at some point this year, depending on how they do. It's going to be very competitive football for that 4th playoff spot in this district.
This ought to be good. All right, Diggs, I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now let's look at some game changers and our players on the rise presented by Parker University. Longview's Tyler Tatum leads a pack of talented running backs in this district. Tatum was only 109 yards shy of a 2,000-yard season for the Lobos, and he also scored 33 touchdowns. Tyler uses his instinct to find the open lanes and then jets through them with his above-average speed. Tatum was the district's MVP last year and should challenge for the same title in the fall. He has offers from Michigan, Oklahoma, and Texas, among many others. Lancaster's Kewan Lacey is a speedster out of the backfield as well. Lacey ran for over 700 yards in a crowded backfield for the Tigers last year and scored 11 touchdowns. As a sophomore, Kewan played at Nolan Catholic and ran for over 1,300 yards. Lacey will share the load again this year, but when he gets his chance, expect the senior to show out. Kewan's top 6 include Baylor, Ole Miss, and TCU. Another show-stopping running back in this district is Jaden Walker of McKinney North. Jaden eclipsed the 2,000-yard mark as a junior and scored 22 touchdowns as well. He was the Bulldogs' workhorse as he carried the ball 318 times on the year and averaged over 6 yards per carry. He rushed for 325 yards in a win over Just Northwest last year, as Walker will be counted on to produce again this fall. Defensively, Lancaster quarterback Corian Gibson will be one to watch this season. They call him Mr. Seatbelt in Weibo land, as Gibson locks in snug on his receiver like a seatbelt in a car. Corian breaks up just about every pass thrown his way as the Tigers depend on the speedy DB to shut down the passing game. Gibson's final 5 includes Texas, Alabama, TCU, Clemson, and Ohio State.
Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. Switch to Cricket and get 4 lines for $25 each per month, plus unlimited nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Our Wharf is Sold sat down with Lancaster head coach Leon Paul to talk about his Tigers and the rest of the district in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We are talking District 7 5A Division 1, and we are joined with Lancaster head coach Leon Paul. Coach, athletes for days. That's what we say when we talk about Lancaster, when we talk about Weibo Nation. You guys showed it out last year for sure. A couple stumbles during the season, but you got a good grasp on what 7 5A Division 1 is all about. You know who you have to go through, and you know you might be one of the teams that people think about they have to go through. Talk about your run through the district last year and what you're hoping to gain out of the knowledge you grabbed last year and going into this year's season.
Man, the district is definitely different than what we was in previous. This district is very competitive. You have almost every team in the district that is competing for a legit playoff spot. You have to bring your A game every week. You know, there is no week off, or it is no, hey, well, in this game everybody gets to play, not in this district. This district is real heavy on you have to be able to stop the run. If you can't stop the run in this district, you're not going to have a chance to make playoffs because it's so many good running backs in this district. I want to say it may be 6 Division I running backs in this district alone. So this district for us is very challenging, but that's why we set up our non-district so challenging, so it can help us get prepared to go through a district like ours. In non-district, you know, I make sure to pick teams that can punch us in the face. Each year, you know, every coach goes through spring ball and they feel like they have a great team, but they're playing one another. You know, I want to play somebody that's going to punch us in the mouth, and I want to see if my team is a team that can take a punch and then punch back.
Thank you for joining us. I know this is way early, but I love getting to talk football with you even in the off season.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it. You got my cell phone. If you need anything, just let me know.
No problem. Thank you, Coach.
You can watch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we head to UIL's highest classification and talk 6A ball as we discuss District 3 6A. Until then, have a great week, everybody.